Hi guys, I am in with my client and you have seen, yeah, you can just rub it. They know what to do. You can see this set, we did it on our channel, and today I'm gonna do rebalance. It is gonna be actually super fast rebalance with very easy design, guys. We are gonna go light with the glitter encapsulation, and then we are gonna do some acrylic paint with the stamper. So pretty nice and easy design. I will show you how to achieve that. So first of all, I'm just going to push back those cuticles, and then we will remove the old product and prepare it for the glitter encapsulation. With the glitter encapsulation, we need to go deep enough. So like usually when I will be removing the old design, I will remove an extra layer just so I can encapsulate some particles of the glitter. Then grab my e-file, full power, so 30, and I'm on the K38. And then we are gonna just remove the old color. It was a really nice and pretty color. I liked it so much. So normally this is the amount of the product I would remove. I would basically just file away the gel polish. But because we are gonna go for a glitter encapsulation, I'm just removing an extra layer. Okay, so this is me removing the extra layer. So we are gonna have more work preparing those nails, but then less work because the design is gonna be like super fast and is done with the glitter encapsulation. So again, remove the previous design. And I'm using the safety bit. I love it because it gives me a really nice smooth filing. And the most important thing is, and I have tested it, guys, like quite often if we feel vibration on the e-file, can be related to the bead you are using. Okay, so with this bead I am really nice and soft. It is very powerful, it can remove even the gems, but at the same time very effective, and it doesn't create any vibration. So this is much comfier for my clients, and it is also much comfier for me as well, and it prevents the product lifting as well. Okay, so imagine like if you're using a very rough file or a very rough bead, it can cause sometimes an extra lifting because the nail vibrates so much. Okay, so ideally you want to use like a nice and smooth but very effective bead. So those quick designs, like, I mean, you have guys seen me doing those crazy Halloween nails. If you didn't like go and watch it, those kind of freehand painted designs, like they can take me even up to 2 hours for very long nails. And then for those short nails with such a simple design we are gonna go for today, like, I mean, you're able to complete it within 45 minutes really, because they're so fast. Again, give those extra file just so we've got a room to encapsulate our glitter. And then do exactly the same on the other hand. I love it as well, like when the clients come back and you can actually see it, how we have created a previous design, and then you can also see it how it's last in a real life, you know. And I love it that I can also show you the different types of hands, different types of nails, and real clients, like, you know, most of my clients actually wear those nice short nails which are workable length. That's a kind of everyday client, I would say. Look also how I'm holding the client's nail fold, how I'm moving the hand whenever I need it. And I used to use a full power of my left hand, so this is pretty important thing I'm gonna say. Normally I used to use only my left hand to twist the client's hand. Obviously the more I use my hands and the longer I work as a nail tech, I start helping myself with the other hand. So I don't want to force my left hand this much anymore. And if you're just starting, my suggestion would be do not force it this much. Use both hands to keep moving a client's hands, take away that extra pressure. Re-clean the dust, and again I'm just gonna do that extra thinning part, only so I've got some room for the glitter encapsulation. And then the thumb. It's almost like, I don't know, I use the e-file almost like peeling off the carrots, like when you really nicely and smoothly just remove as even as possible. You're better off doing those faster movements, so this way you do not produce the heat. You are more even with removing of your product. Do not go and hold in one place for too long, because you will overfile that place, and you could also cause a really unpleasant feeling for the clients. Okay, that's the messy part done. And I can just swap to the cuticle bit. A really messy part. So first of all, I'm gonna file one hand on the one side. The speed is 21 for this client, which is pretty high, because on my other clients I can go as low as 15 even, so this is much higher speed. But I know on this client I can do that. So I'm just cleaning up any cuticle which is on the nail plate. I'm not too bothered about the actual nail fold at the moment. So only everything what is on the nail plate. Again, no pressure, let the bead do the work, so I'm hardly touching a nail plate. Actually, some of you put an idea of when I was saying like you can check the history, how the nails have been looking like on the previous appointments, and I think you've got a fantastic idea of doing a playlist. I just need to find the time, because basically what I need to do is I need to go through those 1000 videos we've got on the channel and sort them out into a playlist of a certain client. But I think that would be actually really fantastic idea. It's okay. Now my next step is to use a blue scrub, and before I start filing anymore, I'm just cleaning my client hand, because quite often they might wash their hair, they might apply some hand creams on, and I don't want to bring in those oils into the nail plate. Then using a cuticle nipper, we are just gonna trim the biggest excess of the cuticle. Okay, just the biggest excess of the cuticle. And then at the end, I will be able to use a wee ball and just exfoliate the nail fold. So at the moment, I'm only removing the biggest parts, which are actually quite nice, again, compared to what we had a couple months ago. And I think this is really so important. Like if we overdo the cuticle area, the cuticle will grow like mad and crazy. they will be just worse and worse, because you kind of almost giving a signal to your body, this area has been damaged, we need to get repaired, we need to produce more cells, it becomes thicker, it becomes uglier. So please keep that in mind. You want to do only a little bit, only what is necessary to don't touch a living tissue. Okay, and if you will be doing that way, the area of your cuticles will improve over the time, rather than just get worse. And I've got it, it takes time, it can take even a couple of months, but I do have like a living proof of my clients, and you can actually see that over the time as well, watching the videos. So yes, I will try my best to do that playlist as soon as possible, because I think honestly this is such a fantastic idea where you can actually see the progress of my clients and even a shape of the nail plate. Like, you know, quite often it is quite flat, it can be weak, so over the time the nail plates straighten as well. I have also find that with my own natural nails as well, they never have been better than when I start doing the nail enhancements. Now I've got my file, and that's a 100 by 180 grit. Now we just need to shorten those nails. So shorten, and as you can see it, I'm coming up from underneath a little bit. So I want to blend the product from underneath. This file is extremely sharp to start with, so what I usually do it is like I work quite nice and slow around the corners and fast in the middle. Okay, the first nail is ready for the next step. Let's do it on another one. So again, just shorten it a little bit, remove those loose places, and you could see it just jump out nice and beautifully. On the natural nail, you want to work with the 180 grit, and that gives you always a perfect adhesion of the product. And on the on an actual product, you can use either side, whatever is comfier for you. I find that if I've got quite a lot to debulk, I would use 100 grit because it's much faster. And for that reason, this is my favorite file, because like here I've got a tiny bit of lifting at the free edge, 100 grit, 2 moves of the file and it's gone. And then I can swap in to a much gentle side when working on the natural nail. Again, nice and slow around the cuticle area. So again, depending on the type of the nails and depending on the client, what I sometimes do is I do like a little bit and then I do the final inspection. On those nails, I would be able just to carry on, don't bother even about the final inspection, because I know they are not problematic nails. I wouldn't call them problematic nails. The product lasts fantastic. I believe it could just kind of almost grow out from the nails, so I don't have to be that extra careful, if that makes sense. I would just do a standard prep. But when I got like a very oily nail plate, I would, after I did this step, I would go and re-inspect the things, like, you know, make sure there is not even a tiny bit of shiny place left and nothing is happening. Okay, this hand is prep for the next step. I'm just gonna quickly do exactly the same on the other one, plus spend some time with my client and then come back to you guys. Okay, awesome, that's them both at the same stage. So I'm just gonna dehydrate them again, nice and squeaky clean. I'm just gonna give you a tip. It doesn't happen with this client, but sometimes you might find that the free edge is separating from the product a lot. My suggestion would be two things. First thing is advise your clients to don't wash their hand, like soak them in the water just before they getting their nails done, because the water make the nails expand and then they shrink underneath of the product. But also you could go like I did with blue scrub underneath of the natural nail as well, to dehydrate underneath too, so it doesn't work, the natural nail don't work that much, like expanding and shrinking. Okay, then just so the dust like lands, I like to re-clean it with the dust brush. I get this question asked sometimes as well. And then an extra nail prep to dehydrate again. Okay, so an extra nail prep. And as I say, very quick and easy nails today. Wait for it to dry, then universal air bond. Guys, everything is back in stock. We had quite actually a lot of deliveries coming up. We have, I would say, fully recovered from moving the salon, and that's just made so much easier for us again to make stock be nice and flowing, I would say. And the parcels to United States, I noticed coming no problem at all for the clients which have ordered with us for the last few weeks, even months, I would say. You can comment on that as well, guys. Milky pink is that's what we are going to use for a base. So I'm just gonna grab that. And yeah, they're coming in with no trouble. There have been some strikes with the Canadian Post, and we have used a different courier, so I'm hoping this one should be also fine too. Now it is a morning time and my gel is on a pretty thick side. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I will just apply on all 5 nails, press it down really nice and hard, get that product into the scratches we have created. Another tip I can give you guys, I just moved my pot because I'm not sure if it's going to be visible, but I like to, so here my pot can, no, this one is actually quite steady, but when you've got light pot which can move, put it against something, so when you pick up the product the pot doesn't move, and mine is sitting in between the cable from the dust collector and the dust collector, so it doesn't have a chance to move. And this is such a big time saver for me as well. So now I need to put a microscopic apex in here. Okay, so microscopic apex, honestly almost no product. And when I'm building the apex, I do not press that hard. So first layer was pressed really hard, and this places, now this nail gives me a shadow, so I always make sure a client hand is resting on my hand, because otherwise it can be, it can give you quite a big shadow. I'm checking if we're still in a camera view. Yes, we are. So my mini apex, no pressure at all. I know it's hard sometimes because we've got the product which is uncured with such a tiny wee apex. Then I'm gonna go for my gold champagne glitter mixture. Okay, and a messy brush. So the more messy brush the better actually. Now we are gonna just encapsulate that in the nail. So nice and pretty. Dobre.
O, Oh, attenzione, Sato.
So just apply it all over. Nice and glittery ones. My client is laughing now because they just realized we are recording. So they just pick some polish and they say, it's like, oh, what you doing here, beautiful. Okay, now the glitter one is done, and I like to use a wee tiny sponge to flatten everything. Okay, so the gel sponge is just to flatten everything, and because I do not have excessive amount of the product, I don't have to worry about the product touching my client's nails or anything like that. And then they are ready for cooking. So cure it. Okay, and then do exactly the same on this one. Now, if I will be, so here's another tip, guys. So here I've got a product which has been previously on the nail plate. This is only rebalance, so I can do it that way. I can just apply it a mini apex, apply thin layer and apply glitter over it, and that is not a big deal. But on my middle finger I had to remove the product almost completely. So this finger I need to do slightly different, okay? I'm just gonna show you what I'm doing. So this one, because it's only on the natural nail plate and I have no previous product which is in there, and I need to build it up a little bit bigger, thicker, and thicker layer means longer curing time. I need to do this one separately because I don't want to have risking like an undercured product of the glitter which might not penetrate, the light might not penetrate fully in some places. That's why I like to do it in those nice and thin layers with the mini apex, so I can apply the glitter on all of the fingers, but I cannot apply it on the middle one. Okay, so I can sprinkle this glitter here because I've got the product is fully cured in there, and I've got just very thin layer, and I've got some empty spaces so the light can easily penetrate through it. Okay, it's not like that solid glitter. There are some empty spaces through there as well. Again, use my wee gel sponge if it's necessary. Like, I mean, it actually went quite smooth, but sometimes if I got very big large chunks, I would do it to flatten it, change. Then this hand is ready for the encapsulation of our glitter, so I'm using a clear gel. That's just the fiber clear. They all very easy to file, and what I like to do it is keep the wipe in here. Actually, this one is my it's almost at the end, so I will be able just to use that fully on my client. Nice and thin layer. Okay, nice and thin layer all over. So this way I kind of tend to remove any excess of the glitter. I can work nice and neat. And then straight away start building my apex. Again, because I did a tiny bit before, I'm just building up mini apex. So depending on like what you're doing, you would apply thicker amount of the product or thinner amount of the product. With this one, I just need a tiny bit because we have already done some parts of it. Just really enough to cover the glitter. Again, the shadow doesn't allow me to see it properly, so I like to put my client finger down. Change. Okay, now go back to this middle finger. Again, microscopic apex, and now I can put the glitter into that nail too. But my first layer is cured nice and properly. That's the layer which has a contact with the natural nail, and I don't have to worry about it. Also, this layer is nice and thin, so it's gonna cure better too. Change. Okay, and then I know I did nice and thin layer on this nail before, but since it's cured and I'm building a mini apex, I do a slip layer again. And then microscopic apex. Just the thumb. I have actually used the entire pot of the gel right to the last drop. So grab a fresh one quickly. I've got always two, one which is fresh if I need it for like a very nice and clear work, and one which is for the glitters. And what I usually do it is like, so if this one was used for a clear, nice and beautiful look, and then once I bin the glitter one, this one becomes glitter, and I take a fresh one for the set, so I'm always having like two of the clear ones change. Now my right hand is ready for a cooking. Final cure of 60 seconds. And then thin layer all over those nails. So just a bit more relaxed, please. Perfect. Nice and thin layer. This way I encapsulate the glitter everywhere. And then build up my mini apex. That's it. So my client arm have been straightened quite strongly, which makes the hand really stiff. Keep that in mind. If you bend the arm and here, so if it's straight, it's pushing very hard. If it's bended, it's nice and relaxed. I'm gonna quickly build up that apex and don't stop the and don't stop. There we are. I forgot I've got another girl. Okay, nice and thin. And then on this one, and then we give them a final cure of 60 seconds, and we're ready for a shaping. Okay, cure. And then once they cooked, remove the inhibition layer, and we are gonna shape them. Okay, so nice, proper, clean of the inhibition layer. And I usually like to use one or even sometimes two, one. One is not enough, the wipe, to remove the inhibition layer. Clean as much mess as possible. Move this here so we are definitely in the camera. And then let's shape it. There is not much of the shaping, to be honest. You just need to smooth out the things. Blend around the cuticle area. I love glitter encapsulations in the salon. They look always fantastic, as long as you don't encapsulate them. You just need to encapsulate them in the right thickness. You don't want them to go too deep, because then when the client comes back for a rebalance and you want to change the color, you are gonna thinking like, oh, I'm so stupid, like why did I encapsulate it so deep? I've got so much filing to do it now. So you want to really just have the perfect thickness, not too deep, so you don't have to remove too much of the clear gel which is on top of it, but also deep enough so you don't overfile it too much when you're shaping the nails. Okay. It comes with practice, I would say. And none of the glitter gel polishes will look exactly the same like a glitter encapsulation. Glitters encapsulations are so much prettier, like so much prettier. But always make sure the cuticle area is properly blended. That prevents the lifting, guys. Okay, I need to relax my client hand a little bit. The reason for me relaxing the hand as well is to see how the shape look, because quite often, like if we place the hand in funny position, the shape can go funny as well, so I like to check it at all the angles. And then just the thumb. And mainly I do most of the work with 100 grit now. You know, it's much faster for me to do it that way. And I can't wait to show you the design because it's so easy and so fast. Okay, final touches. Taper this one a little bit more. I like them credit card thickness at the free edge. So at the free edge is a credit card thickness, at the apex area obviously is much thicker. Now the wee ball, so we can clean up the entire nail folds, okay? Because before we didn't do anything to the nail fold, we was just tidy up the cuticles from the nail plate. So now I'm just gonna put that wee ball on my bead, and the speed 21 for this client as well. And I'm just filing nice and gentle on the exfoliating the nail folds. And I'm gonna file it to tiny bit, like again, not too excessive. Just the biggest dry parts of the skin. Put it back into the reverse. Things looks really dry at this stage because we dehydrate. There is a dust, a little bit of dust left over. So I like to clean the client's hands before I apply any cuticle oil. Keep that in mind as well. Cuticle oil softens the skin. Okay, remove the dust which we have created again, and then gray buffer. So I need to remove the sharp edges too from it. And now I'm just gonna perfect the shape of the nail. So I need to smooth out everything. I need to blend the cuticle area. I even go and touch up the free edge, and if it's necessary, I check how it looks on the side. I might need to go back to the hand file and just touch it up. So this is my time, like when I kind of tend to take my time, file slower, and perfect the things. Again, I don't like that one. It's like a wee jump. So in the middle I can buff really fast, in the corners I'm nice and slow. Shape the free edge. If I don't like something, again, go back to the hand file. Glitters can be sometimes tricky because they can give you a different kind of illusion. So quite often, if I'm encapsulating the glitters as well, I try to almost close my eyes and check for the smoothness with my fingers. It's kind of like sometimes an optical illusion thing, especially if we're working with like a chunky, different colors glitters. Keep that in mind as well. Okay, perfect. That's them all shaped. I'm just going to do it quickly on the other hand as well, and then we can move on into the super fast design. Okay, and they are ready for the next step. So I just grabbed some white acrylic paint, tiny bit of water, and a stamper. And what you want to do is you want to paint the acrylic paint on top of your stamper, just like this. The more water you get, the more it will spread and create the design. The drier you will go, the more solid it is going to be. And then you can kind of bend it. But I want those wee crack lines, okay? So I'm just going to prepare that way and to leave it on the side to dry. If you've got two stampers, you could actually do it on a couple, like two stampers. It will speed up your time, but leave it for drying. Okay, and then when this one is drying, I also got another stamper, so I'm quickly just gonna add a couple of the lines on this one. And you can, as I say, you can leave it that way, but you can also crack it. We are gonna crack it this one in a second when it dries a little bit, but then grab that one. And I find that actually removing the thing is easier because you can transfer it much nicer, and it creates amazing design. My client is just like straight away running into it. I actually love it because it's super fast and I think it's quite effective, like, you know, so depending on the paint will come off very easy with the wipes. but obviously try to don't do it in there. So this one can go back in here, and I'm just gonna reapply it, the paint. Okay, that's will do. And then this one is ready. So again, you can kind of, if it didn't crack, you can kind of crack it yourself a little bit, just so you get nicer patterns. And again. So this one I'm gonna do it again, more water, just so it gives me more of those lines. Like, you know, the wee windows, you can see it, it's completely different pattern, like if it's wetter than when it is drier. Okay, like start transferring it here. And you can really create a nice, beautiful random patterns out of it. Okay, reapply it on that one again. And this one I want to be more delicate. So again, I'm gonna put more water into it. Okay, you can see it how nicely it starts spreading, like creating those wee windows. And then this one is ready. So I'm just searching for the places where I want to add it. And I want one in here, just like a wee small touches now. One in there. One in there, but you could also use one stamper at one finger. I think it's more time consuming, so I like to kind of play it and just add it in the random places. This one is missing something very delicate. This one I could use that one here. Reapply it. This one has a perfect pattern to fill up this space here. And it did break it down a little bit because the bottom one was quite heavy, so I wanted to put something more delicate. Okay, and then this one is empty, so I can use the entire pattern I've got in here. Something more delicate. Something delicate, delicate, delicate. And a wee tiny one. Here, oh, here I can use this pattern there. And just a wee vein going on the top. The clear one obviously is better because you can see it, what you're transferring, so. Again, this one I need to crack it a little bit. So if you do it like this, it kind of cracks. And I can place it there. And there. Now I need something tiny in here. Okay, and I'm happy. So our next step is to grab the top coat, so high shine no wipe top gel, and we can start top coating the design. And what I love, because we've got those glitter underneath, it gives a really nice design. Okay, nice and sparkly with a white abstract nail art on top. Very beginner friendly design. With the acrylic paints, you don't want to have too much, like too thick layer. You want to have it just a nice amount of it. And cure it. And painting that freehand, I think, would be quite time consuming. I would say this one is definitely much easier and faster. Honestly, I love so much how the glitter is showing through from underneath. We have to give them a 60 seconds cure, and then I can show you the final results of this super easy design. Okay, my client is just finishing cooking, so I can quickly start cleaning up the mess. This is always the time when I start doing it. Now we just need to clean my client hand. Nice and proper clean, and then I will be able to show you actually how fantastic they turn it out with all this random abstract patterns. Very easy and friendly for the beginners. You can mix it also with the pigments as well, or like chromes underneath. So like pretty nice. I think it would be like an Aurora chrome and then maybe even a black acrylic paint on top of it. Different way as well. I just wanted to do it nice and white abstract on top of the gold glitter, and you can see it how easy it is to clean it off. I'm not going to apply cuticle oil because I like to always give a wash to my clients' hands, but that's how this set turned it out. Super easy, super fast. I hope you have really enjoyed it. Send you huge glittery hacks and looking forward to seeing you in the next video. Bye!